Pain from Dan's NRL Collectibles. Welcome, mate.
Thanks, mate. Thanks for having me.
No worries. Now, we've done Dan before for a bit of a chat, but a lot of you wouldn't have seen that. So just tell us about your story.
Yeah, well, I've been a mad, passionate rugby league supporter all my life. I've started a online store called Dan's NRL Collectibles. I published a few books. First books were the history of rugby league footy cards. And then I've since moved on more recently to doing these Heroes of Yesterday books. I've published 3 of those.
Yeah, they're cool.
Yeah, and they're just, I get down and interview a lot of the old rugby league players, and a lot of these guys were my childhood heroes, and then I've got the opportunity to sit down and hear their whole life story. So for me, it's an amazing thing. Yes, I feel very privileged to get the opportunity to be able to pass on, all these legends' stories.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Well, and the reason I know, Dan, is because I'm in book 3. There I am on the back there. I don't know if you can see there. And, I think I used up a bit more than my allotted time, and we had couldn't shut me up. But
there was a lot to tell, and there was a lot to take in, and it was a fantastic story. And, and everyone remembers Steve Maven's story from, especially in the semi-final and the circumstances with that, ending up at the Cauliflower Hotel, and it was really good to get your side of the story. And yeah, it's just an amazing story, and that moment will live on in rugby league history forever. So yeah, it was great to get the story inside from you, mate.
It was infamous. So if you want to know the story, it's in the book. Now, we're going to give away some books. So just let us know what we've got to give away.
Yeah, so a set of, basically the Rugby League Card Bible.
Yep.
I've got book 2 and book 3 of Rugby League's Heroes of Yesterday.
Perfect. Now, this is a good one. This has got all the old footy cards in it and the years. And so it's a really nice collector's item. And you could, if you wanted to, you could start collecting autographs. Like if you see Joey Johns' catch up with him, if he lets you, he'll sign your book, and you can do that sort of stuff, or whatever. Or just
speaking of signing, there's a couple of footy cards. There's a special footy card in there of you, Mavo, that the winner will get.
Oh, there you go.
And you can probably sign it for them.
Oh, well, there you go. Let's put them up. Well, I'll put them on the screen. I'm just showing them now. You might be able to see them, but I will put them on the screen later so you can see. But yeah, all right, some signed Steve Maven footy cards as well, and that's a special edition one that Dan actually made for his book. So I appreciate that, mate. So I only had 2 footy cards, and now I've got 3 thanks to you.
No problem.
So to win these books, wherever you're watching this, leave a comment, and I'll put all the comments into a barrel and pick one out, and the prize will be yours. You have featured a lot of Rabbitohs. This is Bunnies TV, and welcome to everyone who's watching this. We're going to just talk about a few of the Rabbitohs that have been featured in the books and a couple of the stories they told you.
Well, the Rabbitohs, South Sydney, there's so many characters, and it's really right up my alley, some of the stories I've heard from the guys. And, there's things like Paul Stringer. He's just him being on stage 3 times now with Jimmy Barnes singing K-San, or if that's the right one. But
really?
Yeah. That's a real...
3 times, not just the once.
Yeah, Jimmy Barnes actually remembers him because he's got up and hugs him, and he's a big man, Stringer. So
yep, he is. Former Rabbitoh.
Yeah, I did his interview up at his house. Excellent bloke. Then he's ended up, my outdoor entertainment area is built by Paul Stringer, actually. So
is it really?
Yeah.
Gee.
And, other guys like Bill Annabelle, I met him up on the Gold Coast, and he's a really nice bloke, but very tough front row back in the day. And one thing I remember about him, he brought out his scrapbook and was really proud to show that he had his penalty notice for fighting, and from the referee send-off, and he had to face, I don't know if it was judiciary back then, but...
Unreal.
Yeah, but he's very proud of that.
Yeah. Well, back in the day, that was sort of like a badge of honour, having a knuckle, wasn't it? And
especially South Sydney front rowers.
Yeah.
David Sinclair, he just told me what it meant to be a Rabbitoh, and one of the proudest moments of his life, and still is. So, it's very... South Sydney's one of those clubs where there's a lot of passion and a lot of history in the club, and it's just amazing that still is the way. It's the way, and they were nearly out of the competition at one stage, and
Well, we were out, but
yeah, and then the passion and the drive from people and the people of South Sydney is what's got them back.
yeah, people power.
Yeah, and some of the other guys I've interviewed, South Sydney players, Gary Wright, and he told me about when they did a visit to a prison and played a game against a prison side, and that was quite interesting. And one of the guys that they were talking to, the guards come up to him later and said, "Oh, what are you doing talking to him? He's like a really bad mass murderer, and he nearly he went crazy in the prison yard recently as well." So yeah, like I can't imagine Souths or any team sending their players into the prison at this day and age.
No, Gary Wright, he's been in the studio for a chat, and he's one of the nice guys of rugby league, a champion guy. He plays a bit of golf, and he's always at our former players' stuff because I think he's retired now, and but yeah, he's in good nick too. He's just such a nice bloke.
Yeah, and Barry Wood was another nice bloke. You know, I distinctly remember his interview. We got along really well, and he's quite a colourful character. And actually, my son's just joined the army as an officer. He's in training now, and I reached out to Barry Wood because he's good friends with Johnny Lewis and the boxing and everything. And my son said he was a bit worried about fighting, joining the army. He wanted to just be able to defend himself, and Barry put him on the Garth Wood and did a bit of training with him at Bondi Boxing, and yeah, that really helped him out, gave him a little bit of confidence and stuff before joining the army.
Right, well, Garth and Nat both played NRL, and tough as they come, those two boys. Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, and well, that was good, and Garth actually beat Mundine too, didn't he?
Yeah, he did on the contender. That was
yeah,
that was the prize to win a challenge against Mundine, and he beat him.
So yeah, Chock found out how tough Garth was too in that instance. But yeah, and he's one of the greats, Chock too. Like he could box too. So there you go. Also, yeah, so your son's joined the army. That's a proud moment for the family. I see you put a couple of photos up and that on Facebook.
Yeah, very proud. 18, very young. So in his class, we got to speak to him on Sunday. He's only been in a week, but most of the people in there are around 24, 25. So there were 3 18-year-olds in the, I think, 28 group in the class. And yeah, so he's quite young, but I think it's good because the army can mould him into exactly how they want him.
There you go. Oh, well, hopefully, he never gets in any hand-to-hand combat, but if he does, he might go all right.
And probably one of my favourite Rabbitohs I've interviewed is had him over for a barbecue actually at my house, was Ross Harrington, ex-copper. And the story that sticks out with me was that I've never heard this from anyone else before, but at half-time he's come off and had 2 schooners of beer while he's in the sin bin, and then he's gone back on and finished the game. I thought that was just terrific. But
that doesn't sound like Roscoe.
Doesn't it?
No, it actually does, yeah. Yeah, no, me and Roscoe played on the same side in first grade, and we've got that special bond that not many people have got. And I love the bloke. He's a champion, and he's got some good stories, and that's just one of them.
Yeah, no, it's just a real honour to be able to interview these South Sydney players, plus legends of the game from all the clubs, and being able to deliver it in a book, and that way the stories live on forever and they don't just die when people do eventually pass away.
Yeah, yeah. So how's business? How are the cards? Is it a valuable thing? Because I know I spoke to a guy called Mark Emery, who I've called the interview the collector, and he collects a lot of stuff off eBay and some old, real valuable stuff, and some of it's quite expensive. Yeah,
there are some expensive cards. My shop, I have all the footy cards in there, Scanlon's ones, 70s, 80s, and I do the big leagues and rugby league weeks as well. But if you're talking about value of cards, there's some sets are a lot more valuable than others, like 1963, talking to $1,000 or $2,000 a card.
Wow.
But it's still small money compared to the American market, where you're talking $1 or $2 million for some cards. So, but yeah, it's more the thing about footy cards, especially guys our age, probably our early 40s, we always go back and look at a card from the 80s, and it just brings back memories.
It does.
You can, the amount of times I've heard people say they can still smell the bubble gum and
Yeah.
things like that, and that's what's good about collecting is it just takes you back to when you were young, and yeah, and
it's true. And it's exactly when you said that, I thought the same thing. I mean, I used to go up, get some money off mum and go up the corner shop and get them, and you'd be excited to see who you got. And, sometimes you'd get one you haven't got and you'd be that wrapped, or you'd get the same ones and you go, oh, I'll have to go again. But yeah, it's
they were simple designs back then. Like, look at this, like it's just a simple design, a border around and a picture of the guy in his jumper.
Yeah, and and then you turn it over and it tells us a bit of a story often
That's
about
right.
them or whatever. And then the different years, the different patterns and designs are always quite interesting. And, I know I've shared a few of them on my pages and that, and it's great. Is there some cards like that are really iconic or that are more popular, maybe an Artie Beetson or something like that?
Yeah, well, Artie Beetson, there's the Balmain 1969 pop-up card. That's quite a special card. That would be on the higher end because kids in those days would have popped the card.
Right.
So to find an unpopped card, they're very rare and expensive.
Oh, gee. Okay. One of the greats, Artie. It's a sad loss. But I did get to know him, and he was a real gentleman. Good bloke.
Yeah. And South Sydney also had a card set, I think it was 2006, from Real Insurance. And the common set was quite easy to get, but they made one card really hard to get. You had to sign up with Real Insurance to get the card. So
marketing.
Yeah.
There you go. All right, mate. Well, thanks for joining me. We'll drop back in again for another interview down the track. Appreciate your time.
No, thanks for having me, Mavo. Really appreciate it.